He's the quiet Southland achiever. His name is Rex Cochrane.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got to say this is one of the reasons why I am so passionate about the Hall of Fame, that we do not forget the achievements of the likes of Rex Cochrane, that we recognise that. Rex, 1,000 winners, outstanding achievement. Take me back to that day. I mean, how nervous were you going into it?
Oh, well, he stayed at Bill Johnson's hotel and he doesn't make you nervous. It was a pleasure because I was born and bred in Waimate and my father was a huntsman there, shifted down to Gore in about 1934, right in the middle of the slump. And the race I won was the Cochrane Memorial, and it was a great pleasure. It happened to belong to an American, actually, a horse called Palamoni, but I used to train for anybody.
You sound very much like Graham Rogerson, and I've got to say, you actually put Graham Rogerson on a horse.
Was that Graham, was it? Yes, it's just, I introduced him to the racing game. He was a little cheeky fellow. It was about
Nothing's changed.
I met him tonight again, it definitely hasn't. And he was a student at Christchurch, and he happened to have an amateur rider's licence. And he came out to the track one of the mornings when I was up there with a team of horses, and he says, "I've got a licence and I'm an amateur rider. Have you got a ride for me?" And I thought, he was a wee skinny little bugger. And I thought, well, he'd suit the horse. He's a big horse, big grey horse by Curtison out of a horse called Danuk. So anyway, at the race day come, Graham comes walking out the birdcage in his sort of fashion. He said, "How do you want him ridden?" I said, "Well, he's not a bad horse, this fella." I said, "You please yourself, how you ride him." He did, and he got beat.
He was a certainty that day, wasn't he? Trained to the minute.
Yeah, he wouldn't have had a better trainer.
Rex, early in your life, you were a jockey. Was that always your ambition to be a jockey?
Have a look at them now, yes. It was, when we first went to Gore, things were pretty tough. My father was down there 2 years before we got down. And when I got down there, they had a polio scare, and I couldn't start school till a 6-year-old. But by geez, I had a good education. I had 2 years in every standard after.
You haven't lost it, Rex, have you?
No, only sort of half by lost one leg, but otherwise.
Rex, you retired in the mid-90s. Would you give much thought to staying on, or was it just you thought time was come to hang it up?
Oh, no. Between the wife and I, we had about 15 apprentices go through our school, and we learnt them to do the best they could. A lot of them turned out tops as apprentices, and the ones that didn't carried on into the racing game. Tony Robb and Alec Hasty, they ducked off into the trotting. It was a bit easier. And I just thought, we've done our duties, bet. We had 2 children of our own and 14 others. So we pulled the pin in 1994.
All right.
Never regretted it.